Have you ever wondered why the Leaning Tower of Pisa has never fallen over, or questioned what caused the lean in the first place? Did you know that this is considered one of the biggest civil engineering challenges in history and remains unsolved to this day? Most of us have relative knowledge about the obscure structure, but pay little attention to the key underlying features that affect its overall composition. Today, I would like to further explain the story behind the tower's tilt and why it has been repaired, and how its construction methods and environmental factors are changing the status of the building. After personally visiting Italy and reading countless articles and viewing numerous documentaries regarding the Tower of Pisa, I understand why this is one of the most admired towers in the world, and by the end of my presentation, I hope my audience can better understand how the Leaning Tower of Pisa came to be the way that it is today, and how it is straightening out slowly. I will begin by discussing the tower and the environmental factors that directly affect its stature. Today, the tower has come a long way from where it originally started. The tower's original intention was a freestanding build for the cathedral in nearby Pisa. Today, although the true identity of who originally built this tower remains unknown, the construction is believed to have begun in the year 1173. There are three potential architects that may have contributed to the miscalculations of the tower, although the sources regarding who built the tower remains unknown. Architects are certain that the tower was built in a series of layers, each layer being a different level of the facade. J.B. Berlin, the author of Stabilizing the Leaning Tower of Pisa, said that the tower is constructed as a hollow cylinder, and the outer and inner walls are faced with marble. By the 20th century, it was evident that the Tower of Pisa was beginning to look dramatically uneven. The tower is initially built near a point where the Arno and the Auser water lagoon meet. The tower was built in a 5 deep circular pit, and its foundation consists of soft, wet soil. The tower is about 186 feet tall on the tall side and 186 feet tall on the higher side and about 183 feet on the shorter side. It weighs about 14,500 tons. Therefore, the weak foundation is made from soft deposits like clay, soil, and sand, and have a hard time supporting the tower's weight. The tower's lean is primarily due to these two issues: the shallow foundation and the softer surrounding soil. Now that you have a better understanding of the tower's composition and its surrounding environment, I would further like to explain the various stages of construction. The construction for the first floor began in 1173. Approximately 5 years later, the third level was built on top. This is when the issues began to arise. In the year 1272, the city of Pisa hired Giovanni di Simone to reconstruct the tower. Giovanni was in charge of facing the challenge and strategically overcompensating for the height on the shorter side. He did this by adding an additional stone to one side, and eventually added a total of 4 stories to the tower. He, in his attempt to fix the tower, it ultimately led to a miscalculation of dimensions and created an even more dramatic shift. Tommaso Pisano continued the construction of the miraculous bell tower, and the city of Pisa finally declared the tower completed in 1372. Thereafter, according to sources from the Museum of Florence, the tilt of the tower continued to increase from to 1.2 millimeters annually. Now that the tower's overall structure is better understood, I would like to discuss the repairs that were done on the tower and the status of the tower presently. The architecture of the tower has been curated by different scholars, and each with a different idea in mind of how it should be fixed. The tower has undergone a number of repairs that have helped it prevent from the brink of collapsing. Although in 1990 the tower was completely closed to the public for about 10 years because they were scared that the tower would fall over and harm civilians. So sources say that they installed tubes underground on the side of the tower that leans away. The technical director at the OPA, which looks at the Pisa's main monuments, said that they removed the soil by drilling very carefully. Thanks to the system, they began to recover the lean about half a degree. By the time the tower is officially up and running, it had begun to straighten out about a total of 16 inches. Overall, these repairs have dramatically assisted the tower in becoming increasingly straighter over the course of its history. Although it will never be perfectly straight, the tower is currently tilted 13 feet towards the south side. After all, the Leaning Tower of Pisa will never be the same if it's ever to become perfectly straight. It is an architectural accomplishment that has brought many engineers and accredited architects together. The poor planning of the Tower of Pisa is undoubtedly considered one of the 7 wonders of the modern world. Concludingly, I hope that you now have a better understanding of the Tower of Pisa and its 8 floors. This tower has a far deeper significance than just being an architectural catastrophe. It is a beautiful religious attraction located in the Piazza de' Miracoli, which is the Square of Miracles. It's truly a miracle that the tower has not fallen over, and we should be more appreciative that we have something this miraculous to admire in our history.